Subscribe, please.
Hey guys, it's me, Gimpy, and I'm back with the follow-up to that video I did a few days ago covering some problems with the new Xwing 2.0. I did not have my core set at the time. They did not have enough in, so I had to wait a few days to get it. So I'm going to just do a quick video unboxing it, showing you guys what comes in it, and covering a few more just quick little basic topics. My previous video got pretty much the response that I expected. You know, some people agreeing, some people thinking I was being too harsh on fantasy. I keep calling them Final Fantasy Flight games, and people have points in both directions as far as it's concerned. Yeah, I can see the movement templates, one being in each conversion kit, maybe being an issue. The point still comes down to the fact that I truly don't believe that those of us who bought so much of this product should have to buy more than a single box to get into it. Making the core box a requirement just was not a good move on their part, but I still keep coming back to the pilot tokens themselves that go on the ship bases. That was one of the bigger egregious decisions that just pointed to greed, in my opinion, as far as choices that they made. But let's just take and look real quick, see what they have included in this. I'll get the rest of the pilot cards, 2.0 pilot cards that I already had and had to buy a core set to get refreshments of. Oh, and you'll notice that I do not have a promo damage deck. I was right about that. I ended up not being able to get one. I did contact FFG to see how they're going to rectify this. But I do have copies of their original ads that say very specifically, anyone who pre-ordered a core set would get one of those damage decks. And I've seen the damage deck. It's cool. I want to have one. You know, it's just like everybody else who wants, you know, third-party tokens and card inserts and neat ship dials and all the other cool third-party stuff you can get for this game. When you come out with something like that, you really got to overestimate it. And I think it was a cheap move on their part to way underestimate what they were going to need as far as those promotional damage decks were concerned. And if they had extras of them, it's not like they couldn't sell them. All right, they could have put them on the website for something like, you know, $2, $3, $4 a pack, whatever, and sell off if they had extras for other players who maybe didn't pre-order. But to not have enough to follow through on your promises to your core customer base, on top of the other problems we discussed in the previous video, that's really a kick in the teeth. All right, so we have our rule book, which I already kind of perused a little bit ago. And of course, we have our ships. I'll take this out real quick so you guys can see. I don't think the TIE fighters are any different. I think that's pretty much just the same thing they've been making up until this point. Your basic TIE fighter with, you know, the little solar panels and everything. And I'm going to drop them. The cool part about the X-Wings, though, is the new ones do have their little bases, the little wings fold up. So that's neat. That is a nice little addition. Plus, this X-Wing is specifically painted to look like Red 5 from the movie. And it has a little R2-D2 on it. So it's got a little custom paint job on it. That's a nice little addition that I appreciate them having into the game. Here we see the basic tokens that you're going to get with the game itself, everything that you need to play. Let's take and cut this open real quick and see what all comes included with this. Of course, we're going to have our movement dials and ship tokens, and focus tokens, and all the other good stuff amongst some other neat things. So we have ship tokens, movement dials. Let's see, there's Jack and Luke Skywalker. Hey, the guy that was missing, I finally have him now. And let's see who's on the back of Luke. Okay, see here, I'm fine with this. Back of Luke is Red Squadron Veteran. That's fine. You know, but putting a named pilot, like what they did previously is like how they have Luke here and Jack here, Porkins, would be having Luke and Jack on the same token. That's just not a good idea. It's bad juju all the way around. I don't know how it worked with... Yep. On the back side of all the TIE fighters is a bunch of generic pilots. And then the front side is all named ones. So how come they could do this with the core set, but they didn't do it with the conversion kits is really beyond me. We've got the new focus tokens, new shield tokens. Here's our new maneuver dials. Looks like the asteroids are the same type. Now I did, let's show off the rest of this and I'll cover this as we go. I did hear that some people are complaining about the new cardboard. They're saying that it's not as good as the previous and they're having issues with tearing. So we'll try to take and pull out some of these tokens and see. We got new stress tokens. I'm still going to use the custom ones I have. Target locks. I like the new target locks. Those look good. And a Bay token down there. Shield token. More maneuver dials. And then here we go. I kept calling these things energy. They're charge tokens. Those. And then only 2 Jedi tokens. That's not good. This should really come with more, I would say. And then that's the ion token now. There's the inserts if you have the upgraded maneuver dials. And then I do like how they're including these now. They have some cardboard tokens for marking your ships. That is an excellent inclusion. That's a worthy addition to the core kit. That's a good business decision, including something like that. They saw third parties were making these and they could include them and really help people out. Bam, they put them in there. Why that wasn't the mentality with everything else, I will never know. So there's all our cardboard. Let's try to pop something. A few of these tokens, some people were saying they were having issues with them. So I gotta say they're punching out pretty easy. Oh, there's one. All right, so let's see if we can, yeah. We see a little tearing going on there. So maybe it is right that it's not quite as good as previous. At least it didn't tear the counter itself. It just has a little bit of extra paper on the outside of it. So no big deal. Maybe a little bit less. I would just take and be careful when you're punching these out. I have heard from some people that they're already having a little bit of wear on the components. As they're using them already, like the paper's wearing a little bit, like how you'd see some people who play a shitload of Xwing, they would have that issue with their maneuver dials. The outside will be worn thin. Evidently, that's happening a little quicker than previous. Hey, what do you know? I've got a damage deck now. Of course, it's not the damage deck that I was promised, but hey, you can't win them all, can you? Now, the promo damage deck has a T65 on it, and it shows what part of the T65 was damaged. This doesn't have it. I'm not going to go through all the damaged cards right now. We'll do that when we actually play. I'm going to have to record some games for you guys. Here's the rest of our pilot cards and upgrade cards that come with the core set. See, Luke Skywalker, obviously the one I was looking for. A couple of Jedi points there. After you become the defender, before dice are rolled, you may recover 1 Jedi point, force point. That's actually pretty cool. Since you can use those Jedi points to take and flip over any focuses that you roll on your defense die, it means he can always convert 1 eye to a defense. Basically, it makes him more defensive. So that's actually a really neat ability for him to have. Porkins. After you receive a stress token, you may roll 1 attack die to remove it. On a hit, result, suffer 1 damage. I don't really like abilities that cause you to take damage. Veterans. And we got some TIE fighters here, Night Beast, the rest of the ones that I didn't have in the core set. And then, of course, our basic Academy pilot, which I have actually heard that TIE swarms are making a comeback now. It's almost like the game just restarted and people are doing TIE swarms again. And here are the upgrade cards in the set. I'm thinking most of these should have been included in the conversion kits. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure I saw that one since. Maybe some of these Jedi cards. That's what that, little symbol there. Force cards weren't there. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll have to see. And what do we have here at the back? Oh, this is a neat little thing they included in this. Some pre-made ships, basically. So Luke Skywalker and his T-65 Xwing with, those abilities put onto him, and then a Red Squad veteran. It doesn't say how many points it costs, but I guess you can't put it on there now. But basically some good squads that you can take and make, and here's some for the Empire. So that's a neat little addition. I like that for newer players, so they can take and kind of get a feel for what's good, because when you're first starting out in this game, figuring out what you're going to fly is kind of hard. Of course, we've got some ship bases, tokens, and the usual dice that we're already used to, the little plastic pieces to plug your maneuver ships together, or your maneuver dials together, and then a range ruler. I'm not worried about the range ruler or the maneuver templates that much, because I did actually kickstart a special set, magnetic Magna Plus or something. I forget about it. It's a nice detailed graphic set that was actually kickstarted like 4 or 5 months ago, and they decided to postpone delivery. We would have had them by now had the announcement for 2.0 not come out, and they decided to hold off so they could upgrade them to 2.0, which I'm actually really happy about, because otherwise I would have had a special set of maneuver templates that didn't match the new game. So that's what you get in the core set. Pretty much everything you would expect. A bunch of cardboard, a few ships, stuff you've really seen before, because most people have bought this previously. I did like the inclusion of some extra game modes, which is what these are for. They're like hyperspace rings, and it's this game mode where you can play more than one ship per se, because your core set's only going to come with one Xwing and 2 TIE fighters. Well, it's a way you can set up to where it's kind of progressive, that you start off with a weak X-Wing versus a couple of weak TIE fighters, and then as you lose ships, stronger and stronger ships start coming into it, and they're going to come in through these hyperspace lanes. So just a neat little addition they've added to the game. You might have to try that out and see how it works. But that's what you're going to get as far as the core set's concerned. Is component-wise, it's not bad. It's not like they did a bad job as far as this is concerned. They've got the tokens where they need to be. Pilot tokens aren't on the wrong sides of things. The ships seem like they're the same good quality, pre-painted. They look good, which is part of the reason I got into the game in the first place. I didn't want to have to keep painting everything, and having a decent miniature right out of the box is great. I still can't get away from the fact that the game could have been transferred over to 2.0 a lot easier and more streamlined for people. And I don't know, maybe they didn't take enough time to hash things out. Maybe Asmodee was harping on them, hey, we want this out by the Christmas season, so you need to do the release by September, period, no matter how much testing or anything that you've done, and didn't give them enough time to take and hash out those minor details. Because I understand from the stuff that I work on this channel that doing it all by yourself, or with not enough outside influence, editor, you're going to have a lot more errors. I have errors in the games I've played on video before, just because I don't have someone standing over my shoulder and I don't have that fresh set of eyes. I don't think Final Fantasy, I keep calling them Final Fantasy, Fantasy Flight Games, was given enough time to get enough third-party eyes out to them and to look at things and say, hey, you should move these around. And maybe just at a bare minimum include the damage deck in the conversion kit. Because the conversion kit, you could have got by without the templates and you would have been okay, but the damage deck was a requirement. And if you really boil it down, the damage deck itself was the basis thing that was missing from the conversion kit. That and the other pilot cards that you were missing. And come on, you've already got all the upgrade cards. So you take out the upgrade cards and the other stuff that's missing, and then all the individual like non-named pilots. So let's count this up real quick. Okay, so if we take out all the needless cards with the inclusion of a damage deck and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, the conversion kits could have been good to go on their own. And that's excluding the templates, or the movement templates, because you could get by without them. So these 5 cards and the damage deck are what forced you to take and get this. Now, I wanted to have extra Jedi tokens and charge tokens and things like that, but I'm still probably going to buy third-party versions of it. But you just can't get me away from the fact that some better design decisions could have saved some customer hassles, the ship tokens, and then again, the biggest blunder coming down to those promo damage decks not having enough. That's just kind of like kicking someone while they're down. Like, really, you kind of promised this. I'm waiting to see how FFG is going to handle this. I have contacted them as a personal just shopper. I'm not like letting them know I do videos or anything, although I'm not big enough into Xwing for them to care what my opinion is anyway. But I'm waiting to see how they handle me as a customer that bought their stuff and didn't get, what they promised me. So I'll let you guys know. I'll do an update video whenever they respond to me and let you know if they're doing more cards, if they're going to do another print run and get it to us in a few months, if they're doing some type of discount or a ship or something. But they need to toss those who missed out something, not just say, oh, well, and if they have done something and I've missed it, put it down in the comments and let me know. All right, that's going to be it for me. You guys take care. I will catch you in the next one. Hey guys, one last little addendum I wanted to throw onto the end of this core set video is just showing you how I organize some of my components when it comes to all of it. Because when you really get into Xwing, I mean, you have so much stuff that you have to keep track of, and you want to be able to access it as easily as possible. So one of the things I do with my maneuver dials is I use these card sleeves that you get to take and organize, and I've got all my pilot cards and upgrade cards here in the back of this, and I actually go ahead and put my maneuver dials in here as well. I really like how with the second edition their name is written very clearly on the outside of the dial, so it makes it very easy to just kind of flip through, see which dial I'm looking for. This is a big 4-inch binder that I'm taking and using to store it. And just with the cards and upgrade cards and maneuver dials for the Rebels, and I've got all the cards for the Rebels and the Scum, and just the maneuver dials for the Rebels in here, and it's pretty well filled out now. So I'm probably going to break it into 2 binders, have one binder for Rebels, one binder for Scum. It will probably make it easier that way, but I would definitely recommend doing something along this nature, because it really does start to wear on you after a while trying to organize all the different components that you have. But you see they work, they fit in here very nicely. Definitely just make sure you keep the binder itself vertical, facing upwards, and you don't tilt it over, because the maneuver dials will slide out of these little plastic holders. But you can get a case of something like 100 of these things for somewhere between 15 and 20 bucks, just depending on where you're getting it from. And then obviously, of course, you can use it for its intended purpose of storing your cards, all your different pilot cards organized right throughout here. And then right past that, let's get into our upgrade cards here in the back, and I find it easiest just to take and separate these out by type. Sorry about the little glare, but they've got all that sheeting of plastic over top of them. Have your titles stuck together, and then all your cannons, or however you want to organize it, but definitely keep the same types together, and make sure you leave a little space to grow into, because if you buy a new ship that has new cards, you don't want to have to take and reorganize all the cards there behind it if you had everything packed flush when you first started into it. So make sure you leave yourself just a little bit of room to grow into. Big binder though, with the little 9 card sleeve page thingy sheets. Works really well as far as I'm concerned. Highly recommend it. All right, but that's going to be it for this video. You guys take care. I'll catch you in the next one.